Today we're going to be finding out if any of these little kitchen gadgets that I found on Amazon and online actually do work. Now, as you know, in the professional kitchen, there are many different types of tools and gadgets that we chefs need to use to be able to do our job. You can do it with just the basics, but having some specialized tools will make your life a lot easier. Whether it be having the equipment to make spherifications, which I do have a video on by the way, or whether it be a wine opener, which is actually quite important. There are many tools that may help you in the home kitchen as well, but other things such as spatulas, spoons, peelers, thermometers, these sorts of things can help you not just in the professional kitchen, but also at home. First item, banana slicer. I don't know why you would buy this instead of just using a knife to slice a banana. I mean, especially when bananas get like a little soft, because this isn't sharp or anything. This is just plastic. Anyway, let's peel a banana. You can peel it from the top or the bottom. It doesn't really matter. It's actually easier from the bottom. Now, this is a bit of an issue, isn't it? You see how this is curled? Yeah? Well, if the banana doesn't have the same shape, you know, I mean, it doesn't really fit, does it? Okay. Push down. These bananas are a little fresh. Right, well, the banana stuck to the slicer. So you have to kind of push it out. And it's made a little bit of a mess. I mean, all the slices are the same size, which is great. But this banana is not quite ripe. And if you use a banana that's more ripe, it's just gonna squish it. Personally, I think the banana slicer is useless because if you just take a paring knife and slice a banana, it's quicker, faster, easier. You also save money. You don't need to buy a specialized tool just to slice a banana. Waste of money, yeah? This thing is going back. Now for the asparagus peeler. It's fun to get the jumbo asparagus because you get the really thick rubber bands. And when I was a kid, I used to collect those rubber bands and then use them to like shoot people all the time. I used to get my dad all the time when he was walking in the door. Now, sometimes we do peel asparagus in the professional kitchens, but normally we peel like the jumbo asparagus bigger than this. This is the only asparagus I could get at the grocery store. So I'm gonna show you how to peel it, but we're gonna be very delicate because as you can tell, this isn't very thick. In France, at least in the Michelin star place that I was in, we did not peel the asparagus. All we did is we took off these main leaves here, and you had to be very, very delicate. You took your paring knife just as such, and you would peel these off. And then at the end, you had a beautiful piece of asparagus without any of the bottom leaves. Imagine that this asparagus is a little thicker than this because this is too thin. You would take it in your hand as such. Ooh, this is a teeny asparagus. This doesn't work. And you gently peel it. In any case, the idea is to use thicker asparagus than what I could get, and you would actually pinch the asparagus between the blade and this little handle here, and then you would slice it. What you would do with a potato slicer is to actually take it as such, very, 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 very gently. And then you'd be left with more or less something like this. So I think that if you have like jumbo asparagus, which are very thick, it could work, but for anything else, I think this is maybe a little too specialized. With this potato peeler, I can peel anything. Now for this. This is supposed to be a tomato slicer. There is a trick, which I'll show you guys after we try this little thing, which could save you a lot of money, so you don't need to spend your money on something so specific to slice tomatoes. It goes like that, and just slice down. Okay, so you fill up the little canister with tomatoes as such. Feels like I'm loading a magazine. Hold on to this. This is the blade. I put it in here at the top. I better not aim this towards myself so I don't get all the tomato juice on me. I'll aim this towards the cutting board. All right, and we go down. Really? Oh my goodness. Seriously, let's try that again with just a couple tomatoes. All right, 3, 2, 1. That's not sharp at all. Like, it's serrated, this yeah, but it's not sharp. And the tomatoes, they're destroyed. Like, honestly, they are destroyed. Now, if you try to get one of these things to make your job easier at work, I wouldn't suggest it because otherwise the chef will yell at you. Yeah, trust me. I know because if I saw somebody using this little thing instead of a knife, I would. This is like pretty bad. I mean, if you don't really care and you can spend like $8 to $10 on something like this, well, you spend the money if you want. So the other option is to cut them how we always do in the kitchen, with your paring knife or your knife, and just slice them. And you get a beautiful slice. I mean, that's perfect. The other way is a trick. It's not very pretty, but it works and it's cheap. Is to get one of these little liter containers, which are very common here in Spain. take the top, take a couple tomatoes as such, put them here, slice them. I need a bigger knife than this, and slice. You know, more or less, it's actually more accurate than how this little machine sliced the tomatoes. You have one that sliced it super nice and delicately, perfect slice, and the other one that just destroyed it. So this little item is a fail. Now for the EverGrip. I was requested by the company to test this product, and today we're gonna see how this works. The EverGrip was made by a chef for chefs and also home cooks. It was designed for people who spend a lot of time cutting, but more importantly for people who have trouble holding a knife and actually working with a knife. Every knife has a different type of handle, and depending on the knife that you have at home, some handles are more comfortable than others. This is one reason why I use Wusthof, specifically this one that they don't make anymore, because the handle was super ergonomic. Other knives, like this cheap one from IKEA, have a very square handle and the edges are a little rough and it's not comfortable to hold in the hand too long. Now this is a universal size, so one size fits all hands and fits all knives. Normally, without this, when I cut, I hold my ingredient here at a bit of an angle and I slice at a bit of an angle. So far so good. Let's try it with a Japanese knife. Normally with a good knife, the balance point should be right around here. It shouldn't be too far behind the bolster. With the Japanese knives, the balance point tends to be a lot further, like front heavy, so it tends to be way up here. Let's see, where is it here? It's up here on the blade. So this is the point where I actually pinch the knife. And with these knives, it can be a little tricky to hold the blade. I have to admit that it is comfortable, first of all. After you've held your knife for so long, especially one that you've worked with for years, it's a weird feeling to hold it completely different than how you're used to holding it. Instead of pinching a very thin blade, it feels like you have a little more force to hold the knife with, so I can relax my hand a little bit and my wrist. I can definitely see a market for this for people that, one, don't like to hold their knives. If your hands are a little big and you have to hold a smaller blade, it can hurt. Also, if you do have any like arthritis or any carpal tunnel issues, I could see that this could help quite a bit. Now, me personally speaking, am I going to use this over just my knife? Probably not from the day to day, because I'm so used to actually practicing and holding my knife and using my knife how I have for years on end. It's a skill that I've developed. But if you are new to knives and cutting and chopping, and you have cut yourself quite a few times, or your hand hurts, it could be a good option. So my last thoughts for Dice Vice EverGrip is that, does it work? Yes. Is it necessarily important for everyone? No, but if you do cut a lot, or if you have hand issues, it could help. Now for the Pickel Picker. When I saw this, I honestly thought to myself, like, no, this can't be. Someone actually made something to pick pickles out of a jar or anything that's in a can. If you don't want to get your fingers wet, you should use this little thing and it will grab the pickle and take it out. It works pretty good. All right, try this one. Ooh, that one is a big pickle. How do they get this in the jar? Right, it works. Okay, let's see how it works for the little ones. Yep, and even for gherkins or cornichons, it works as well. So, I mean, it does work, but I think I'm gonna send this back because it's useless, honestly. We have a little rhyme with pickles. Peter Piper picked a piece of pickled pepper, which piece of pickle... No, wait. Peter Piper picked a piece of pickled pepper, which piece of a pickled pepper did Peter Piper pick? I think so. It's a lot of P's. It's like very difficult to say. If you have to, you can take a fork. Well, maybe not. Come here. Take a fork and just take the pickle out of the jar. That's it. If you want to spend the money on this thing, you can. Me personally, useless. Herb shears. I have actually seen these quite a bit on social media. I have never ever seen these used in the kitchen before, like a professional kitchen. If you're wondering why I keep my chives and my fresh herbs wrapped, is because if you wrap the herbs in just a little bit of paper towel and keep it damp, they'll last longer in the fridge than they would otherwise last just in the container or something else. So the idea of this is to basically cut your herbs a lot easier than you would need to cut them otherwise, no? With a knife. Chives here. Okay, let's just cut them. Well, you need like, where's the brush? You need the little, come here. Well, you need the little brush to be able to get rid of all the little herbs stuck in between the blades. You can't cut the chives any bigger or any smaller. That's how it is. With a knife, if you want to slice them smaller, you can slice them paper thin, depending on how sharp your knife is. Overall, if you want to buy this, you can, but spending 10, 12 euros, dollars, whatever on this is a bit of a waste of money. I mean, a good pair of scissors is needed, but this specifically just to cut herbs is a waste of money. Get yourself a good knife and learn how to use it. It doesn't need to be the best knife. It can be something cheap, but you can use it for so many more things than this. When I first saw this, I honestly thought to myself that, oh, I have to try this. I've never seen this before. This is an egg cracker. This is an actual machine that is supposed to crack your eggs perfectly every single time. And it's just cheap plastic and like a few blades on it, and that's it. And this little thing is supposed to be the yolk catcher. Let's try it out. Okay, which little egg wants to go first? This one. All right, put the egg in here as such. These are jumbo eggs, by the way. Ready? Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, well, it worked. We didn't get any shells in this. These eggs are pretty big, so I guess I have to try another one. Save the eggs for later. I'll make some egg fried rice after this. Let's try this again, a little harder this time, all right? 3, 2, 1. Okay, well, I honestly don't want to crack all my eggs today to see if we can get one that actually works, but we'll try one more to see if this little thing works. But this isn't working so far because the yolk is supposed to be intact. It's supposed to crack the egg with the yolk intact so you can use this instead of having to do it by hand. This is a big egg. Let's see if it works at all. Okay. All right. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh! We got it on the third try. It actually worked the third time. Right, so there's a little bit of a learning curve with this little device. I honestly think that if you just have a little bit of practice and crack the eggs with your hands, something that you already have for free, then, you know, that's all you need. You don't really need this little thing to crack any eggs. And how do you get this out? Right, so you then take the yolk and then you can... Oh, it broke anyway. Right, okay, well. Forget about that. Now this is one little vegetable slicer that had more than 100,000 reviews on Amazon, so I was thinking to myself, well, I might as well try it. It's like 4 different gadgets in one with different size slicers, and you can do a few different things with it. So let's just test it out because I don't have one of these for a reason, because I haven't my knives. The idea is to take an onion or a vegetable, place it here, and you just push down. And that slices your onion. Okay. Well, and if you place it sideways, you get little dice. If you place it lengthways, you get not quite julienne pieces, but somewhat julienne size slices. You can place this in here, and we can get some turned carrots. Well, from a quick little test, it works. I mean, you need to be a little careful because half of it's plastic, but it makes some very simple cuts that are uniformal. So it's easy then to like take these and to slice these into little dice cubes. Now you have perfect little dice carrots. I mean, it works if you want like only 4 different types of cuts. My suggestion though would be, instead of buying something like this for the house and spending like 30 euros on it, is to get yourself a little mandolin that you can cut multiple different things on. I would recommend one of those over this. And if you want to spend a little more money, then maybe you could buy a Robocoo or one of the types of equipment that Robocoo sells, which are similar to this that we use in the kitchen to then cut vegetables. But it only makes sense to get one of those things if you're going to be like making like a lot of production. In the end, if you want to save yourself a bit of money, get a good knife and practice instead of buying something like this, unless you don't care and you just want to cut, you know, a few things easy peasy. And that's it. I have to say that probably the most useless item out of all of these things is probably between the banana slicer and the pickle picker. It's just, come on, I mean, honestly, this isn't even sharp, the plastic, and you smash the banana, and these bananas are fresh. They're not even fully ripe, and you smash it. Imagine what you do with a ripe banana. Then again, the herb shears are a little, you know, useless. To me, it's useless. I don't treat herbs like that. You want to treat them very delicately. And this was pretty bad as well, the tomato slicer. It's just, honestly, tomato, grapes, and a thing. This isn't even sharp. So when you go to slice the tomatoes, it just rips them apart instead of slicing them. And the egg cracker. I mean, it took a few tries before we got a proper, like, cracked egg. But even then, the yolk split. Does it really work? Yeah, it works, but if you get like 1 out of 3 eggs, it doesn't work that well. It's much more efficient to use your hands and to develop a little bit of practice. The most useful tool was the EverGrip, but again, this is something to help you use a tool that you already have. This is not to replace something that you do need in the kitchen. Long story short, I would highly recommend buying a knife. It doesn't need to be Wusthof, it doesn't need to be Hinkel, it doesn't need to be any expensive brand. You can buy one from IKEA for all it matters. It's just something that is useful and easy and that you can use to practice your knife skills with at home. That's it. All these tools right here are supposed to replace this one tool, a chef knife. So for me personally, this here is a waste of money, and these things are gonna go back. And the pickle picker is also going back because I don't need it. It's useless. Hopefully all of you did enjoy this little video and product review. If you have any questions or comments, let me know down below. And if you have reviewed any of these products before, let me know your thoughts down below. And if you have any suggestions as well, because maybe we'll do another video like this, maybe something that I haven't seen before, maybe something on Amazon, I don't know. If you have a link to the product that you want me to review as well, then send it to me. In any case, guys, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for all the support. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss out on any future content. It's very important and it means a lot to me. Thank you for supporting my channel, and be sure to check out this next video coming up here, and I will see you again very soon. Until then, take care.